What is something from your childhood that no longer exists now? Yelling somebody get the phone. Cool spoons from cereal boxes. I miss the color changing and straw ones. Friday night at the Blockbuster, also anonymity. Nickelodeon game shows. I miss Legends of the Hidden Temple and Guts. KB Toys. Wendy's salad bar. The toys you get from cereal boxes. Nickelodeon. It exists in some form, but it's basically a dead network. Far from the golden age of cartoons it was in the 90s. Those coupon dispensers in grocery stores and the video game demos in stores. Toys R Us. I miss that place. I remember my dad taking me and I'd just wander through the aisles amazed at all the toys. I got one of my childhood favorite Barbie dream houses there. I recall hearing about a concept mentioned in movies known as a Christmas bonus. When MTV actually played music. Privacy. Mostly in the sense that we didn't have big meta mining our data location listening. Calling your friend's house. It better be after 10:00. Saturday morning cartoons. Public phone booths, at least where I'll live. Not having your entire life video recorded. Mr. Rogers' smiling face with tear ripped to the legend Hardhand's light skin tone. My dad. Saturday morning cartoons. Nothing beat the joy of waking up early in Saturday morning to watch 5 hours of your favorite cartoons, most of which were only on at that time on that day. Photo albums. My mother has been cataloging some of the old photos she never got around to putting in albums recently. It is a different experience than looking through someone's phone at curated pictures. You would get the pictures back and 90 of them would go in the album. No editing. No, my hair looks like crap. You would find photos of yourself years later that you never knew existed. When your grandparents die and you start looking through albums for their memorial and can reminisce. It is so nice. Playing outside with all of the neighborhood kids. Everyone had to be home when the streetlights came on. Arcades and malls. They are just not the same. Boredom. With battery on your phone and preferably an internet connection. You just can't be bored the way we used to be. When a wet weekend meant being stuck in the house with only 4 channels. 2 showing black and white movies. That were just filler and the other 2 showing sport. The house I grew up in. It was hit by a tornado in 1999. And my parents moved out of town. The people who bought the corner lot built the house facing the other street. So not even the address exists anymore. That led to some fascinating confusion when I later had a job that required a security clearance. And the investigator couldn't find the place I'd lived for most of my life. There was no box on the form for house destroyed by natural disaster. Do you remember filling out book orders when it was time for your school's book fair? Waking up with excitement on Christmas. Other children playing outside. I have no idea what happened to them. Maybe discontinued. But every time I drive around I look for them and can't find them. The idea of a secure retirement by means of pension. I'm a millennial and I have an extremely bleak outlook on retirement for my generation and those that come after. The only jobs that I've ever seen with a pension are government. Private companies don't seem to reward loyalty with a pension anymore. Employers also seem shocked when their employees aren't loyal. My precious grandparents. Showing my age here, but asylums. The practice of institutionalizing patients against their will, especially for mental health or drug abuse issues. In the late 60s or early 70s, the U.S. outlawed asylums and dumped all those people on the streets. And started the snowball that became our current homelessness crisis. Affordable housing in my hometown. My hometown is a shithole. But it's also only 50 miles from a very trendy coastal city. So now it's an expensive shithole. Needless to say, I won't be moving back there. KB Toys. I'm Canadian, so when I got to visit these amazing toy stores in the USA, it was incredible. They really were the best. And I couldn't see them very often. X200B. Radio Shack. The company that replaced them sucks by comparison. X200B. HMV. Awesome record store that's been replaced by an inferior store. X200B. Edits. Sega made video game consoles. The Genesis was incredible and so was the Game Gear. Lots of childhood memories on the Genesis. I didn't like and get the Sega CD, but the Dreamcast was a masterpiece. The Dreamcast had free online gaming. People to this day it remains one of my top 5 consoles. Blockbuster movie rental. Playgrounds in fast food places. The $5 foot long. Yelling its ON as your siblings hurtled themselves back into the living room and across the couch after the ad break. That will I make it few minutes of just not knowing if you had time to both pee and also get kitchen snacks. 4. Adrenaline inducing. Mad, Cracked and Crazy magazines. Please don't make me feel old by not getting this. Affordable housing? The PBS show Zoom. I watched the original as a kid way back when. It apparently got revived for a while in the 1990s to around 2005 as well. 4-inch thick Yellow Pages phone book. The white pages was only about 112 inches thick. Riding bikes outside. Your friends. Black boards that use chalk. It's white boards everywhere now. Free range kids. We went everywhere, but were always home for dinner. Dial phones. Innocence. The specialness of going on a family outing on the weekend. The movies. A museum. The zoo. An outdoor festival. Nowadays parents feel obligated to take their kids out, keep them entertained Friday through Sunday. Night universe forbid these kids should have to entertain themselves. Not to mention all of the fancy b-day parties kids go to that are purely experiential, take place at a specialty venue. The sheer volume of day trips makes none of them stand out to the kids. Scooby-Doo gummies. Excitedly waiting for your show to come on at a set time. You miss it, tough luck. Saturday morning cartoons. Nothing beat the joy of waking up early in Saturday morning to watch 5 hours of your favorite cartoons, most of which were only on at that time on that day. The Nintendo DS. Sad they discontinued it because of their irrelevancy now that the Switch is here. One parent making enough to support a family of 4. And one parent to be at home doing all the housework and helping with the kids. VCRs and new VHS tapes. Aunt Jemima blueberry pancake pourable mix. You just shook the carton and poured into the pan. Video game arcades with 1 or 2 exceptions. VHS, Betamax, Laserdiscs, Minidisc, CRT television, Philips Videopack home video game, leaded petrol, shoulder pads, giant hair, and civility. Sony Walkman. Free-range children. We just roamed the neighborhood after dinner till 9. In grade school when we didn't have homework. Having a progressive dinner after school for French class, and I don't think my parents knew what houses we were at or even knew the people. Oh, the freedom, hope, optimism, human decency.